Hello and welcome everybody to the Casual Spikes podcast episode.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot. Episode here, and we're back after a pretty long hiatus. We are here to talk about our favorite Wizard Square cardboard game, where you know, we're casual about it, low key. In fact, you're going to see the title move because in this whole time that we sat here, I didn't center it.
As you can
But
see, we're still top quality like we've always been.
Randy, we're back.
We've done it.
The, the FCC, in fact, could not pull our license. Pew, pew,
Oh,
pew. But, we're back. Of course, we have the modern RCQ season already getting started here with the, Pro Tour coming up in the beginning of May, which we just found out about literally, like, at best a few hours ago. And Regional Championship Cincinnati. That is going to be taking place a few weeks after that Pro Tour, which is going to feature the standard format. So we got a lot to talk about between the modern and standard formats, and it's going to be good to be back talking about Magic and good to spend like the first like few hours talking about things not related to the podcast before figuring out that like we should hammer this down.
it's fine. We still didn't really hammer down the idea of the other than like we should talk about modern, we should talk about standard, and I think that's as far as we got in about 3 hours of talking. So we're really good at this.
That's all we need. That's all we need, boss. But
Uh,
before we of course get into that, with this being the first episode back, of course we plug this on my YouTube channel and everything. But be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you're notified when new episodes go up. We're gonna try to do what we can. We did take a pretty long hiatus, just because work schedules and life schedules don't line up very well. So if you want us to be around more often, then the more people that click the subscribe button, support the channel, all that fun stuff, will then make that a lot easier to make that attainable. And, just two guys talking about Magic. It's one of my favorite parts of the day.
it turns out that starting a new job, moving, all that fun jazz, really takes you out of your entire like ability to do anything.
I wish. I wish. But, we have. So I forgot where we're gonna start at. Holy shit!
Modern.
Modern, yes, everyone's favorite for
Yeah.
the people's format.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the people's format in the sense that like everyone likes to play it, and people are definitely tired of playing standard after doing what two RCQ seasons back to back of standard. Kind of makes it hard to like really want to get excited for standard, like more standard.
Yeah. I mean, lackluster promos, like the standard being, I think, in a good place, but like when you do it like 6 to 8 months of just like that format, it gets to be a
Well, I mean,
lot.
the big problem is we went like, is it seal cutter into VV into like then a kind of healthy format? Like we definitely have had a lot of just like not healthy standard, not healthy standard. Like I think standard is in a very healthy spot now, where we have like obviously we still have like I think four fucking Izzet decks that are viable again because Wizards really likes red blue for some reason. But like Sanders is in a very healthy spot. Like some will argue that Prowess is quote too good, but I definitely don't think it is. Like it doesn't dominate. It's not like how VB is. It's not like, hey, are you playing VB? No. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad you wasted your entry fee. That was a good move. Like
True. I mean, yeah, I think standard went from like there's this deck that's like tier 0, and we can pretend like there's other decks that you can be playing, but you really probably should be playing this one, to definitely a more diverse metagame where I think there's a few options that, yes, end the game very quickly once they kind of get going, but, not one that is necessarily so overwhelming where I think you have to be playing this and you're just actively choosing. You're making a conscious decision to not try to win when you don't pick that deck.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I think there's a bunch of standard decks where like in a vacuum, like you're just gonna lose if you don't interact, but like that's almost every deck in like all of Magic. Like, hey, if my opponent doesn't interact with me for 4 turns straight, I just win. Like, cool man. That's every deck besides control. Congratulations. Like,
Yeah, oh man, take it from the person that really played a lot of mono green and just like, man, if my opponent just never does anything to me, it's literally just set up city, and I'm going to try to swing for the fences and see how much damage I can do, rather than like having to carefully navigate my turns and figure out like, what line leads me to lethal. It's like, no, they all lead to roam, and I'm just gonna try to like deal over 200 damage in one swing.
yeah, no, I feel that as someone who played the um what is that, the rug harmonizer deck.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Like I definitely like enjoyed like a much more where like when I played against Mono Green, like, all right, cool, you have no interaction. I just need to find my combo faster than you can kill me. Let's go. And then you realize that there's still 50 minutes left on the clock after you're done with game 2 or 3. You're like, oh, I have a lot of time to go.
I don't know. Thankfully, thankfully though, the modern format. Remember when we said we were gonna start with modern, and then like standard's just so triggering. It is absolutely triggering.
It's only triggering because of what they've done with the sets and the cycle, or the sets, the rotation, and everything like that. But back to modern, like where we have interaction and maybe a little too much interaction. If you want to argue like semantics,
I would
like I
not like
fit.
to argue ceramics. I do that enough with my grandma.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if you like look at like the top two most played decks are all interaction essentially. Like I guess Boros Energy is not all interaction in the sense of like it's also like more of a mid-range aggro deck, but like it plays a bunch of interaction. It's trying to interact with you on your board. It's trying to interact with you in some regards. And then Jeskai Blink is definitely just a mid-range grind fest of I'm going to outvalue pretty much anytime, anywhere, as long as I have cards in hand.
Oh yeah. You know how much it's crazy thinking back to like the regional championship in
Houston.
Houston, Texas, and like Blink. I don't remember Blink. Well, I think Blink ended up winning that tournament, but
It was the breakout deck of the weekend.
yeah, it was just like, why didn't we start doing this sooner? Like literally, it's like we're doing the beans thing, except we're using Quantum Riddler to do like the thing, and turns out like that's just good enough. Where it's like I don't need to get draw cards from like casting my spells. I just need to play my spells, and I can just play this thing later. That's gonna draw me a bunch of cards.
I mean, I think the biggest difference is like Jeskai was already a thing for a long time. Like Jeskai's been a thing since the One Ring was still in standard or still in modern. But like people just learned like, you know what? What if we just don't play Counterspell? That card's bad. Like it's so crazy how long it took us to get Counterspell into modern, and people are like, you know what? That card's just bad. Why are we
Mm-hmm.
playing it? Like it kind of almost infuriates me because for the longest time we're like, we need something better than Mana Leak, and which is like, all right, we're gonna give you Counterspell. It's gonna break the format, and this is like you have now like blue controlled extra like Counterspell is way too weak. I need something better. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
what? You're
Just
telling
like
me two mana answer any spell in the stack is bad? Yes.
just like there was a time in modern where like we absolutely couldn't unban Stoneforge Mystic because Stoneforge plus Batterskull would make like the blue white controlled X too good.
Oh yeah.
Like that would have crossed like, no, you cannot have Stoneforge because blue white control is already seeing a lot of play and maybe would see more because of Batterskull.
Oh, I remember a time in modern. I'm old enough to remember when Wild Nacatl got banned in modern, and I said that I wasn't gonna play the format because you can't take that format seriously. We're banning 1 mana 3/3s. That died to Bolt, which was the most played card in the format at the time. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what are we doing? Wow, the
Uh,
Coddle too strong.
there were so many things that were just okay, but Wild Nacatl was not one of those things.
No, I'm pretty sure we also had Bloodbraid Elf and like Deathrite Shaman still at the time. It's just like, wow, the Coddle's too strong. It's They're killing us too fast.
Just so crazy. It's so crazy to think about. Modern was just a different place, different time. We
That's
were all
before
children.
power creep was just the name of the game. Fire design.
True. Oh man. Don't get
So
me started.
I was this reminds me of like I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about like Magic, and like she like understands that it's a game I play and I enjoy, and that's about as far as she understands it. And I was talking about Ragavan. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was just like, I kind of feel bad that like I bought these cards. Or I was talking about how I don't want another card I just recently bought to be my Ragavans, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Well, I got Ragavans, and I've yet to ever play them in an actual like physical tournament." I was like, "I've never cast that card in a tournament ever." And she's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It's okay though." I was like, "That card's gonna take a while to get like out fire designed." I was like, It's like the best 1 mana drop, like 1 mana drop we have." I was
Hmm.
like, "It's fine." I was like, Eventually I'll cast it in a tournament." I was like, "But I got them," and like they just sat in a binder. They've gotten put in a couple different deck ideas I've had and like taken it out, and they've got put back in the binder. But one day they'll actually get cast in a paper tournament, and I'll feel good about my choice to buy these 20 years ago.
Turns out the combination is you have to put Arid Mesa in your deck alongside Ragavan, and that's what makes Ragavan playable.
Yeah, the problem is I don't have the only Boros cards I have is the lands, Flage, and Ragavan.
So we're like a quarter of the way there. We just need the Ocelot Prides.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is we should just play Jeskai. I should just play Jeskai Blink,
Yeah, do that.
which is why I'm playing Affinity.
No, and you know what? I really do like the Blink deck. I tooled around with it a little bit, like months ago at this point. And I mean, the deck was like a lot of fun to play, just with like some of the different synergies and interactions. Playing main deck consign to memory, to scam your things, but then also like the use cases of like I always just bring this card in these matchups. Well, now you have way a higher percentage against those decks, and then some sweet interactions too, where you could just turn Failure into basically like an exile type effect. You end up stifling your own trigger, and their thing never comes back.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, like how the deck has been like retoolbox essentially, and like I think what's crazy about it is like Jeskai Blink is like this kind of like very, very played deck and is like about a 50% win rate deck. Like it really reminds me of Blue Red Murktide, where like none of your matches are like free. Like you have a couple of matches like where like you're a little like better favored and stuff now because of like what you're playing in the main deck. But like no, there's no matchup where you're just like, all right, cool, this is a buy. I don't have to think. It's usually like, all right, I'm like this is like 60-40 in my favor, and then you just draw the wrong half of your deck and it becomes 90-10 in their favor. You're like, cool, I'm glad I played this deck.
Trust me, you're going to be very happy playing this deck because you're going to be pretty moist when you play the Casey Jones, and then you just get to stifle your own trigger. It's like cool. I was basically like got to draw 3 cards, and then I discarded a card on my turn.
Well, I don't know if you've seen Casey Jones is already getting cut. They're going back to the
Oh
Fable.
shit! I guess so. I played
Fable.
myself.
Yeah, well, people were arguing that Fable is better because it's more consistent. So, I was watching, um, yeah, Apex stream today, and they were talking about that, where like your consigns are already so taxed that like you don't really want another 3 mana card that taxes your consigns.
I suppose, but I mean, it feels pretty good playing 3 mana, 3 4 3, draw 3 cards.
Yeah, I don't know. I see both sides of it. I think as a whole, um, but we'll see what ends up coming out on top, and the correct answer is gonna be whatever your preference is, whatever your playtesting led you to believe.
Yeah, look,
I don't necessarily think there is a correct answer.
I've seen too many people now, like really in Cube mostly, but like I see someone play Ancestral, I never see them lose the game. So like I assume in Modern it's the same thing where it's like whoever gets to play Ancestral Recall like just ends up like their odds are like astronomical at that point. Just like every time a Ragavan hits, you're like exponentially better at winning the game. Like I what can I say? Like I think if you could Casey Jones, like play Casey Jones and then blank the Casey Jones with like Thalia, and then just like, spend 2 mana on like one card to like give it. It's like I drew 5 cards.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about this.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But I don't know. We'll see what Jeskai Blink, ends up doing.
Yeah,
Um
I mean, it's the I'm gonna say the quote unquote like premier like interactive deck of the format. I mean, we see Affinity, which can kind of like does interact, but is also like looking to like run people over. Boros can run people over, and it's got enough interaction. And then of course, Amulet Titan is Titan.
yeah. Well, what I think is interesting when you look at metagame breakdowns, I think Affinity is inflated for Magic Online. Like I think that like if you're going to a tournament today, like you're likely to see way more like Boros Energy, Jeskai Blink, um, Amulet, Eldrazi than you are Affinity because Affinity is so expensive.
Mm.
And like this is obviously like Jeskai Blink's also just as expensive as Affinity, but the difference is like people have cards from Jeskai Blink. A lot of people don't just have Mox Opal sitting around. Like I like as of right now, I have like I think I have all of Jeskai Blink. Maybe besides Casey Jones if I play
Mm.
it. So I can play the other 3 mana enchantment instead. Um, but like I have that just from playing Magic and like playing in the modern format, playing in standard and stuff like that. I don't just like I own Mox Opals, but like I didn't own them until I physically went out and got them. That's not just something that like, oh, I picked up Mox Opals because I kind of wanted to play a deck one day. Like that's not what happened. Like you have to go out and be willing to spend money on Mox Opals. Not like, oh, I picked up Quantum River because it was good in standard at the time. And oh, Solitude was good in modern at one point in time. Ragged Man was good in modern. It's like I just have all these cards that like you can accidentally build Jeskai Blink if you have a set or like a collection. You can't accidentally build Affinity unless you have Mox Opals.
True. Yeah. The insanity, the absurdity of like Mox Opal being like $250, and there's probably no good avenue about going and actually reprinting the card that'll impact the actual value of the card, because Secret Lair obviously isn't going to cut it.
Well, they won't put it in Secret Lair. That's too expensive of a card.
Oh yeah, that's too much value.
That Secret Lair is going to cost you 250.
True. And it's gonna include like 4 other artifacts that don't do shit. Damn.
Can include 4 artifacts that don't see play in any set or in any format, Commander included. They're gonna somehow find the 4 artifacts that don't see play in Commander as well, and it's like, all right, you want these? 175.
But it's gonna be like Mox Opal, and then it's gonna be like Darksteel Plate, Darksteel whatever, like the little puck, the 0 mana artifact
Oh
that's
yeah,
indestructible, and then just like every unplayable like Darksteel card that's just like gives this thing indestructible, and then like has like the worst text box imaginable. And people will
yeah,
still buy it because you're basically getting Mox Opal for free, or because you're getting all the other cards for free. You're buying Mox Opal.
yeah. But realistically, though, I think with modern, like, it's in a very healthy spot. I do have some worries that like combo is kind of like coming back essentially. Like we have Ruby Storm, Belcher on the uptick. We have Aerial Titan still on the uptick. Living End, I would argue, is a combo. Like Living End's definitely changed a lot, but like it's still essentially a combo finish deck. So like I do kind of worry about the comboistness of modern coming up. Which I mean, if combo keeps going up in value, then like there is a spot for like blue black control or some other like control deck to kind of come into place. I I mean, we'll see what happens with that though.
I know it pained him because how much he talks shit about Washington.
Dude, I still argue that blue black control is a trash deck to play in modern. Like, come at me, fight me, I don't care. Like, if you like to play blue black control, that's great. I'm glad you like to play a sub like 40% win rate deck. Congratulations.
Washington.
I don't care that you 5-0'd a league. A ham sandwich can 5-0 a league. That's not impressive.
Yeah, like I think like as far as playing RCQ, uh, I mean Boros Energy. I mean I've talked about it quite a bit, and I've played quite a bit of it, and like really the fact that it's just so good. Like I'm not gonna say so good against everything, but just
It has game against everything.
yeah,
Like
like you can
there's
race
no
Titan.
there's no matchup that you truly feel like is just like a 90-10 in their favor. Like there's nothing where you're just like you don't sit down against a deck and you're like, "Oh, you're playing that? All right. Let me just sign this match slip now."
Mm.
So that's how old I am. No one signs match slips anymore.
Yeah, they have to go on companion or melee.
Me, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Boros Energy, the fact that like you can race the fast combo decks while also just being a deck that can like grind out like the long drawn out games and everything, and you're just not totally blown out against board wipes. Everything it just is like so good. It is above average to like excellent, like just about everything that you would want a deck to be able to do. So the fact that I would just be playing Boros Energy. Like if I just had this deck and I thought, well, I'm gonna play something else, I would slap my friend in the forehead and tell him just play Boros.
That's fair.
I'm a believer.
I mean, that being said, I think I think realistically, one of the like I think the best deck to take is Amulet Titan. If you have the reps and you know how to play it, I think it's the best deck to take in the format, like bar none. It just does a lot of degenerate BS and dodges bans because there's not enough people that play it, essentially. I think outside of that, if you have Mox Opals, you should probably just be playing Affinity. It's like the highest high roll deck of the format. And like it can also win out the long games too. Like you can just kind of like outgrind your opponents. Um but yeah, I mean, outside of like those two decks, I think Boros Energy, Jeskai Blink is definitely a good deck. It's also one of those decks that I think has a like kind of a higher floor though, where like a lot of your games are like hard fought and like you can like one or two like misplays early on can really like punish you hard as to where like Boros Energy, like if you miss sequence your one drops, like you're not gonna just be like, oh, can't win the game now. Like whereas Jeskai, I think you definitely have a spots where you can just be like, I should have done this 3 turns ago, and now I'm in a spot where I don't know if I can come back from.
Oh yeah, yeah. To that point too, like you also have the games Just Guy Blink where like you play like a Ragavan on turn one, and then your opponent just is never able to beat it, and you double and triple spell them to death.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. There's just as
Yeah,
many like I don't know if there's just as many, but there's just as many games where like you just get to like run over the game, like you get to run over your opponent very easily. The same way with Boros, right? Where like sometimes like just going one drop into like one drop, or one drop into two drop into like another couple one drops is just like your opponent can't win.
oh
Like
yeah.
there's just games I played against Boros Energy where like they just had a perfect curve, and like I had maybe one or two interaction spells and it wasn't enough. Like it just like I can't keep up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like both decks flex Ragavan like pretty hard. Also, I mean, yeah, like both decks, like you play Ragavan on turn one, and I'm not kidding. Like exponentially, your win rate goes higher and higher the more times Ragavan connects, and like especially in Boros, when it's like I take a turn off of playing my one drop on turn one to play the best one drop that has ever been printed on turn one, to then play like number two and number three one drops of all time, like as a follow up. I'm no, I'm kidding. I'm rage baiting, as the children say. Like
Yeah,
realistically,
yes,
probably some of like the other like best one drops currently in the modern format, like
yeah, currently legal in modern format.
currently legal.
Um, Eldrazi Tron seems to keep picking up in numbers, and I cannot honestly understand why. I don't think Eldrazi Tron is super well placed. I'm also thoroughly convinced that if Kozilek's Command ever gets banned, like the Tron decks just die. Like I think we go from like having like two or three different like Eldrazi type decks to Brood Scale is the only viable deck that plays Eldrazi.
Sheesh.
And even then I think that deck goes from like tier two to tier like 1.5 to like tier 3. Like Kozilek's Command's doing so much work in the Eldrazi decks, it's not funny. Like I want that card banned just so I can stop having to care about colorless spells.
Well, yeah, and the fact that it's like that one card where it's like the one way that you end up beating like the big mana decks, or the way that you end up beating um the brute scale combo, like when they have like their stuff assembled, is like running them out of just like resources. It's like they have an infinitely big thing, but like I can at least chump block this forever. And Kozilek's Command just says, no, let me dig like 15 cards deep, or in Brute Scale's case, like let me look at all of my cards. Like you're also going to be able to make virtually infinite mana, and you're going to be able to stack your deck and then draw the thing that you need.
Yeah.
Like it just
Now,
doesn't need it. We don't want it.
now that being said, like I don't think it's bad that we have a big man like a big mana deck in the format by any means. I don't know. I just don't care for Eldrazi because like as someone who likes to play like prowess and stuff, I still want I never want to sit across that deck.
I don't want to see
Like
Sire 7 Deaths register in a deck list ever again.
it's not even Sire's not even my problem half the time. It's they get to go like almost always it feels like, oh, turn 2 I have Chalice on one. Oh, turn 3 I have Trinisphere. Oh, turn 4 I have another annoying thing. Did you have 3 answers? Oh, you didn't. You lost.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Thanks. I'm glad I needed to have 3 answers in a row to like even play this game.
Trinisphere is such an unfun card. It's so unfun.
It is.
Mm. Um,
But I mean, outside of that, like I think the format is healthy. Like we have a bunch of different decks, nothing's crazy. Like Boros Energy is, I think, probably overrepresented, just because I think it's not to say it's an easy deck, but I think it's one of the easiest decks in Modern to like pick up and play, and like you don't necessarily get punished super hard by missequencing or doing things, and like the more you play, the better you get with the deck, essentially, or theoretically you will get.
yeah, Boros Energy for sure. I mean, probably the fact that it is one of the top decks, so like you could reasonably pick up and play it and actually have some good results with, and you're only going to end up getting better from that point.
Yeah. Yeah, your floor is how good of a player you are when you first pick up the deck, and your ceiling is how often do you play that deck.
Yeah, I think some of the like a lot of the interactions are very much like in your face. So like this is like part A, and then this is like part B. Where I think Jeskai Blink, it's like, oh cool, like what I can counter like a triggered ability, and it's just kind of like as you're doing the thing, you're like, oh, I have this option to do this, and it's not something you're thinking about when there's a world where you just like want to play Flage on like turn 4, and then like stifle the trigger to like sacrifice it to like have it stay around. It's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought it automatically gets sacrificed. That sort of thing. It's just not like in your face.
Yeah, there's a lot of like cute little tricks with Flage, or like I was watching Magic today, and like a thing came up where it was like play Flage and then ephemerate Flage for the win, and like this is like not that like that's like not like an obvious thing, but like it's just something that like you don't think about because like how like in 100 games of Magic, how often like what's the percentage that comes up? Maybe 1% max. Like maybe 1 out of 100 games that comes up to
Yeah.
where you're in a position where you need to like I need to cast my Flage and then ephemerate my Flage just for the win. It's just like it's not an obvious thing to come up, or like the little things you can do with like dog and different things like that, or like it's just a bunch of like little interactions, or a lot of it too is like picking and choosing when you need to ephemerate versus when you need to consign a trigger and things like that. Like it's just a lot of like little things that like you can progressively get better at, and that's why I think like there is a much higher like floor essentially to be able to play Jeskai well versus where Boros Energy is like, do you understand how to tap mana and play your creatures? You can probably win at least one game of Magic doing this. If that's your floor level of understanding Magic, you could probably still win a game or even a match with Boros Under doing that. And then with Jeskai, it's just like you can win a match doing that, but it's a lot less likely you're going to be able to do like win a match doing that.
Oh yeah. For sure. Jeskai Blink is, you definitely want to know what's going on and understand a little bit more in depth than just like, oh, I know the cat wants me to gain life, and I know this thing gains me life when I play creatures, so like I want to play this so then I can play this, start gaining life, and then just play more creatures, or bombardment with a Johnny, where obviously this is just going to be able to flip my Johnny and make a planeswalker. It's also going to allow me to deal damage with my zero, where yeah, like Jeskai Blink has like these interactions where you're disincentivized to do them until there's like certain conditions that are met, and you just don't realize it until like you're there. And sometimes that moment even passes and you're like, oh, I could have done this, and like I didn't even think about it because from the get-go I'm discouraged and disincentivized from doing this because it's not going to end well in my favor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's not going to end well for me. It's going to end up being to my opponent's benefit.
Yeah, or it's like hard, like not necessarily card disadvantage, but like not advantageous to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I mean, that being said, like I think Affinity has a higher floor as well in the sense of like it's a lot of like understanding your mulligans and when you need to like should you wait a turn to pop off or whatnot. Like I think a lot of Affinity is like understanding timing, and Affinity to me almost feels like a combo deck, like Storm, where it's just like when do I need to go off and make an army, and like does it make more sense for me to like go like do this turn one, make a bunch of like 1/1 flyers and just start pressing my opponent, or should I wait a turn and see if I draw like a Kappa so I can like play Kappa same turn and just like get that train going? Like, do I need to wait? Do I need to pull triggers? And then a lot of it's also just like understanding your mulligans of like, okay, this hand does this, but is that good enough for what I'm doing? Like this hand, like, yes, this hand makes like 3 flyers, but like, is that gonna win me the game over the course of like 4 turns if I don't draw anything else, or am I just gonna like make 3 flyers, they kill my flyers, and I'm like, all right, go. Oh, okay, go.
Yeah, it's definitely like Affinity feels like the deck where, at least in this format right now, where if like game ones, if it has like the nut draw, like you are at such a low percentage to be able to win that game, where it's like they put a bunch of flyers into play and they cap it off with like a Kappa Cannoneer, and it's like what are we doing? Like I can't feasibly come up with a world where like I actually beat the start. It's a great game one deck.
The only deck that beat like Affinity's nut draw is like Storm, essentially,
Mm,
where they can also just have a nut draw of like they win on turn two.
yeah,
Because like so like I go like saying I go first as Affinity, I put a Kappa into play and like 4 tokens. You play your land pass, I attack for like 10 damage. You play your second land and then just storm off. All right, cool. I can't stop it. I got you down to like theoretically, if you have to rely on Ral, you could die to your own Ral, so that could be an issue. But like otherwise, like I'm probably not winning that game if you're just gonna, storm kill me on turn two.
oh yeah.
That's about like the only deck that I think can truly just like beat it. And some nut draws from Amulet can probably beat a Kappa on turn one.
Yeah, I mean, something absolutely just
Oh, like
ridiculous. Like,
don't get me wrong, it's still gonna be like Amulet has to have like the nut hand into like draw, like being on the draw or being on the play probably and drawing like a card or two of also just like perfect top deck. Okay, I can win. Like still not like very obvious that you could do it. It's like, yeah, I think Affinity has a very amazing game one where it can just like, hey, I put a Kappa and like 5 power, like 5 other power into play. Um, what would you like to do? Oh, I drew an artifact. Kappa's unblockable this
yeah.
turn. I play good Magic. I understand. Like, it's definitely like this feels brain dead when you're just like, did I draw an artifact in my artifact deck? I did. Kappa's unblockable. Swing in.
Slap you for 6. Like, oh yeah, by the way, here's my Shadow Spear. So even if it isn't unblockable, it's still like a 7/7/8/8 trampler with lifelink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Amulet. Amulet Titan takes a physics degree or something to have and to do, or I don't know. You need some kind of mathematical degree, I think.
Yeah, you have like a full notebook of like every single like 2 card land pile you can get in the situations that you would, and you have to memorize that notebook. And then also scape shift piles as well, and how many lands you need to be able to like properly combo off and make sure that you can win the game.
I hate Amulet Titan so much. I more so just because I feel like every time I'm like I'm in a good position, like they only have 2 lands, and it's just like they'll just like somehow go into third land's always a locust, and it's just like locust space scape shift. What? Okay, sure.
That's why you have
I don't.
to familiarize yourself with their like their land setup and their piles, because as soon as like they do these things and then they put scape shift on the stack, you're like, all right, cool. Like there's no they should get these things, and as soon as they get the things that you say that they're going to get, you can just click the concede button because you know what's about to happen.
No, I'm petty on Magic Online, so I like to make them waste their clock. I usually just hit control. I just like yield through yield through turn and go make a sandwich.
Oh, they're done. I'm dead.
Oh, 5 minutes left on the clock. All right, we just gotta try to win game two.
Shoot, we just got to make sure that they time out.
Yeah, I say I
God.
am mildly petty against Amulet Titan players. I'll concede to a Storm player before I concede to an Amulet Titan player.
I wish I could remember who I played at the Houston Regional Championship that was playing Titan. I was just like, hey, do your thing. And like they were, like they knew shit where I was like, oh man, like I thought this, and then they just like found a way to like get even more value out of it. I'm like, yeah, this deck's disgusting. I was like, I
What's the
certainly
cop?
know. What's that?
I said, what's the copy pasta? Amulet Titan has remained tier 1 or tier 0 throughout multiple different Grease's modern formats and
Mm-hmm.
still yet to eat a ban. It ate a ban for Summer Bloom back in like 2016
Yeah.
and then hasn't been touched since, and it only gets more stuff somehow. Somehow it's like we printed this land that we didn't realize would be also amazing in Amulet Titan. Oh, we gave them another Amulet Vigor effect. Only this time it also gets to ramp them too.
Mm-hmm.
We gave them a creature that gets to like eat bring all their creatures back. Hey, we gave them a land that just copy any creature in the graveyard too. Are we winning yet?
Yeah, no, and they still want to complain.
I'll never forget the Amulet Titan player that complained to me about me playing Rhinos. When I turn 3, at the end of their turn 3, put Rhinos into play, and then they killed me on turn 4. And I was like, yeah, man, one of us is definitely doing degenerate things, and it's not the Rhinos player. Sorry.
You shouldn't be allowed to do this. Like, I'm sorry, I put 8 power into play.
Yeah, my mistake. I try to put 8 power into play that dies to a lot of different removal. And it can get hard stopped by a Chalice on 0.
Right. It's like, yes, I feel bad for you, opponent, who can put literally infinite Titans into play.
Yeah.
Uh, they can eat a bag.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I think modern is healthy. Like we definitely see a bunch of different decks running around, and I do worry that combo might be getting a little out of control. And by that I just mean like it's slowly starting to tick up in better percentage. Between Ruby Storm, Belcher, even Neo Brand is making a comeback for some god awful reason.
Which makes me feel good about playing Jeskai Blink over something like Boros for like Neo
Yeah,
Brand.
just Solitude. Solitude's a hell of a card against them.
Even maybe they're not playing it. I thought they were playing it. I thought Jeskai Blink was also playing like Force and Negation. Or at
They
least the
were at one
list.
point in time. I think they've all cut them because it just like they don't have a lot of blue in their lists.
Not
Realistically,
good
like
enough.
like realistically, their blue cards are what Quantum Riddler and like Teferi and Consigned to Memory.
Yep.
Like if you want to be real, like Jeskai Blink is definitely a Boros deck disguising itself as a Jeskai deck for like Quantum Whirler and Consigned Memory.
It's got cosplaying as a Boros deck, or I
Yeah,
guess this is a Boros deck cosplaying as a Jeskai deck.
it's a Jeskai deck. Yeah, like it's very much just like honestly, Quantum Whirler is doing a lot of heavy lifting in the blue part of Jeskai Blink.
Oh yeah, this is oh man, it's fantastic.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's not too much to say about like modern. I don't think like the new standard set's gonna shake it up any real degree. Like I'm sure we'll see like a couple cards make their way into standard as they usually do. Like we'll always see like some new sideboard tech maybe, or like maybe this card is good, or maybe this card is like a mild upgrade to a tier 2 deck type situation. But I don't see anything from like the new standard set like, oh my god, did you see XYZ? It just got Blink is tier 0 now. Like like nothing's crazy or amazing is happening in the world of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't see anything that's like currently coming out in Secrets of Strixhaven where I'm like, this definitely feels like it's a modern card. There's like some interesting things that like maybe you could do in some like corner cases, but nothing that like this, at least as I'm remembering, is like a such a standout card where like, yeah, this is going to be a really great card to be playing.
Yeah, I don't see anything crazy, or I at least not that I saw. I'm like I said, I'm sure I can miss something. Um, I think flashback might maybe make its way into I could see like the like red green like hollowed one Vengevine deck can maybe almost play flashback to some degree.
Fair, fair.
Being being able to like flash. No, that doesn't work. I had a thought process for that, and the more I thought about it, the more it fell through. After I was like, I kept talking, and I was like, no. Oh, I guess maybe Grixis Reanimator could actually play that. That wouldn't be terrible to play as like a one of the two of being able to rebuy like your Reanimator spells that you mill through just like bad bad luck of like thought scouring and things like that.
I could see something like the Dawning Archaic could be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I've seen that one tossed around too. I don't think that card's good.
Well, it doesn't have to be good. It's just like a stupid thing that you could play for like uber cheap, and then potentially.
What what was the other like uh 7 or 8 mana legendary card that came out a couple sets ago that like you get to get a permanent card back from your graveyard?
Oh,
Looks like a
I thought it was from the Assassin's Creed set. There was like some that cared about historic cards.
oh no, you I know what you're thinking of. That was like the artifact. I was talking about like it was like a permanent creature. It was like a like 7/7 or whatever. Um Goryo's Vengeance tried to play it a while ago because you could hit like your Goryo Vengeance, like your other Goryo Vengeance targets and make a copy of them. It would exile it from the graveyard and make a copy.
Uh, there was like, oh shoot,
It's here. It's in
I remember the Gorios cards that were like playing Ilharg, because then you could like attack with it, and then you could put like your Emrakul or whatever into play, and then kill your opponent. But like that was like forever ago.
no oops, that's not what I wanted. Give me 1 second. I'll get this pulled up. Talk about something else.
I mean, we could probably move on to standard. That's why I think modern, like if you're going to get into the modern format, uh, I would just play. I'd probably just play like Boros Energy, and I would not look back. I think you're gonna end up getting a lot of mileage out of it. You're gonna get so much farther in a shorter amount of time than unless you just have like infinite time to play Magic. Well, then play maybe one of the more interactive decks or one of the more streamlined like combo decks and really learn deeply what the lines are. But I mean, really, even then, like you could just dedicate that time to Boros Energy and still be in a fantastic situation.
Yeah,
um
yeah. I think if you're just looking for like the like the best bang for your buck or the best time for your effort would definitely be Boros to pick up and learn.
But we can move on to standard, just because here in the next like few weeks, or like about the next month, even though we're gonna have modern going on, there's gonna be two major standard tournaments going on with the Pro Tour, being Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven, taking place May 1st to the 3rd. Yeah, May 1st to the 3rd.
Yeah.
And then we have the regional championship May 15th through the 17th. And I mean, right now, we were kind of in this. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. You know, we have like mono green. We had the like rhythm style decks that we had seen that, you know, dominated standard and then completely fell off at the Pro Tour and then have sort of kind of come back. Is it Prowess, again, just being a deck that is showing up and performing very well and went from, you know, 60 plus win percentage at the regional championships to now being far and away, seemingly, well, maybe not far and away, maybe that's a little bit of exaggeration, but a deck that is showing up a lot and now spawning different variants of that deck to, you know, kind of what we saw when Is It Prowess was starting to come up in standard before, where it was this lightning fast aggro deck that then turned into basically this mid-range control deck later on.
I mean, and as far as Is It deck goes, we also have like the Is It Spell Mental deck that has been running around, as well as like Is It Lessons, which is really taking a page out of like, what if we were just a control deck with like Is It Lessons just evolving from like, hey, we're gonna play, you know, Monument and Artist Talent to like, what if we cut both those cards and just went like full control slash Legend of Kurik, you know, just we're gonna make a bunch of 1/1s in one turn and take you out next turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's standard, at least right now, like we're kind of coming back like full circle ish a little bit. Like I said, we have multiple different Is It variants out there. You know, you do have the aggro Is It deck still hanging around and everything, and actually still doing pretty well. You have the slower like value Is It decks. You have the Spell Elementals deck that you were talking about, where you kind of just blow out everyone else that's not playing Elementals, and then you still have like these like combo decks, like the blue black Excruciator decks that are blue black mill decks. I'm gonna call them mill. Then you have, you know, the many different flavors of rhythm slash Ouroboros decks, where you're either the streamlined combo version, you're the super interactive mid range deck, you're somewhere in between all of those. Even just like the normal elementals decks, where we've seen like the, you know, Ashling Rekindled, I think is what it is, and then like Roaming Throne to like double up on the triggers, and then also be able to just play them out, and you have like this huge body on top of getting, you know, double Thoughtseize, double bounce, or, you know, dealing 6 damage to your opponent and getting 2 lands out of your deck, whatever the case may be. So there's just a lot of variety seemingly in standard, but now we're seeing a lot of variety that's like, the variety is in the different versions of these archetypes, and we have like very few archetypes that are finding a lot of competitive success, with some breaking through, but really a lot of these are like some variation of like this core idea that has been performing very well in standard.
I'd even go as far to say is like Jameer Midrange is making a comeback somehow. Like I've seen that deck start putting up numbers again to some degree. Boros Dragons is still always hanging around in the wings. Momo is still trying to figure out if it wants to be mono white, black white, or blue white. There has been no consensus on what the correct answer is. I feel like mono white can't be the correct answer though. Like just splashing another color gets you something for free. Like
Mm-hmm.
because like the blue decks are splashing, I think, Rodor and maybe one other card. It's just like that's just free. Like you're already playing for of this the stupid artifact that like lets you tap for any color.
Oh yeah.
It's just free, and like the black decks get like the bat and I think like another like maybe some removal spells and stuff. And it's just like this is just free to do. Like I don't know why we're not doing like why we want to refuse to do it, but like, and then Boros Dragons will sometimes still just like went out of nowhere with Nova Hellkites and BS things. I was just like, I cast 2 Nova Hellkites and my opponent died. And it's like, all right, cool.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it is interesting to see how wide open standard is, but also doesn't feel wide open. I think it's because like you said, we're seeing like these different archetypes are now just breaking off into their own subclasses, like where like you said, like with the rhythm decks, I shouldn't call them the other one. Like the rhythm
Aurora.
decks are just like yeah, like we have like you said like the combo version of it. We have like the Selesnya like more mid-range grind. You have like the 5 color version of it where it's just like, do you want to be toolboxy? Do you want to be more mid-range? Do you want to just like, I'm gonna go pedal to the metal, I hope you don't play removal. Like, because sometimes that is as good. Like the only deck I think that isn't really branching off into like different like subtypes really is like mono green.
Mm.
And that's because like let's be real, it's mono green. There's not like it's not exactly like, do I build aggro or do I not build aggro? Like you're not playing a control mono green list. So like, and like that's already was a mid range deck essentially. This sometimes wins out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only things that you were seeing off that, there was people that were playing like Selesnya for a hot minute, and it's just like we're playing mono green, and it just depends on if you want to play like Melt Striders, whatever, like in the main deck, so that you can potentially interact with like your opponent's like creatures for the fact that a lot of yours ends up being super big.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, that's kind of what the Selesnya rhythm became. Like they realized that they could just play rhythm and play the Gearhulk, and like, oh look, we're just better now that we did this instead of like sticking with the mono green plan of like Earthbender's Extension and Ice Tail Explorer.
Yeah, and with Mockingbird, we essentially get to play like almost feels like a Ranger of EO style, where it's like we get two ones, but then it's like I'm essentially getting a one that becomes a Ranger of EOS, and I'm just gonna get two more things and continually
Yeah,
chain and have a board full of 4/4 flyers with like first strike and trample or whatever, like just unreal.
yeah. But it is interesting to kind of see how open standard is. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen at the Pro Tour because I do think that like there's a lot of cards in this like new standard set that are almost there, or they feel like it should almost be something. And I know I'm not smart enough to like figure it out, and so I'm sure one of these like testing teams of like 40 people who have played Magic for the last 10 years will definitely be able to tell me. That
Please help me.
Yeah, that being said, I don't think we're gonna see any like deck that's gonna break out of Pro Tour like the Pro Tour this time around, where it's just like, whoa, no one had is it lessons on their board this time, and that's just a deck we didn't see coming. I don't think there's gonna be anything crazy like that, but I do think that like I think that is it Spellmentals and like is it necessarily like this is it spells might become more of a mainstay deck. Like I think we could see almost a full circle where we have an is it control deck that comes out because of just like how many good spells we now have for is it. Like I do think that like Magic definitely was just like is it's been doing not good enough lately. What if we gave them more good spells? And so we'll see. Like we'll see if they maybe went a little too hard on is it, but like that being said, I do think that like there is a lot of like a lot of potential out there of like from what I've seen that is coming out of this set, out of Strixhaven, and I feel like there's so much that looks like it's just almost there. Whereas like if we just push it a little bit, it'll be a real deck.
Hmm.
And I'm curious to see what like the quote unquote great minds of Magic come up with.
Whenever deck Matt Nass is like playing like whatever room, I will blindly follow that man into wherever like it could literally just be literal pieces of fecal matter like shoved into 60 sleeves, and I'm like, this is what I'm taking to the Pro Tour. I'm playing this. He told me it was great. I think I saw a tweet. I think it was from I think it was like Sam Party, and it was like um Matt Nash had like showed him a deck or whatever, and he's like, it's like he just shows me these decks. He just expects me to like clap for him, like I'm a trained dog or whatever. Like he's like, oh look at this. He's like, yes, Matt, I know you're like incredibly good at building decks. Like I, please stop, or rather like keep doing it, but like don't expect me to just yeah, it's not
Yes,
impressive
Matt.
anymore.
Matt, yes, you built the best deck in standard yet again for the 16th standard season in a row.
Broke the world championship. You found a way to like win Pro Tour Aether Drift and everything with, you know, the domain deck and everything, like, yes, you're good at this game. Thank you.
No one thought you weren't. It's okay.
Yeah, there was no doubt that you were probably one of the smartest people.
But no, I think leading up into the Pro Tour, there is a lot to be discovered in Standard, and I think a lot of things are going to be thrown at the wall here. We're definitely going to try to see what sticks. I think the Is It Prowess deck is still finding itself, because like we see it now be the hyper aggro deck. We've seen now kind of like the split off of making Spelementals and Is It Prowess the same, like the same deck, very very high quotation marks on the same deck there, but like, you know, we're seeing where like people are realizing that Eddie Merc Crab is just a good card, and like I've known that since before Beans was banned, because that's how I was playing Saltai Crabs. That was I missed that deck.
So fun.
It was so fun. It's so fun to just play a of the beanstalk and then draw off your 7 mana 2-drop.
Yep. Pay 1 mana here. Well, yeah, like Solarian Terror. Like, here's my 5/5.
Yeah.
Like, draw a card. Like, play another Beans. Like, play another 5/5. Draw 2 cards now, and good times.
You know how many games I started off with where like I would start off a turn with like 2 cards in hand and it'd just be like play beans, play play terror, play another beans, play another terror. Oh look, I got a grip full of cards again. And like 10 power on board that can't be interacted with like cheaply. Your
Start
turn.
Started out, you know, turn 3 Hellbent. By turn 5, I'm discarding the hand size. Like, how did this
Oh
happen?
yeah. Yeah, it's so good. There's definitely more games where I was like, I gotta figure out how to get a beans off the table. I'm gonna deck myself. Like, when you're looking at when you're looking at your deck size, going,
Hmm.
yeah,
My sideboard
about
plan should have
that.
just been to bring in like all 15 of my cards, just so like I can get some more Beans value before I have to like worry about getting them off the table.
Exactly. Like, there's definitely you definitely did some crazy shenanigans, but like, no, it is interesting to see like the splitter cells essentially of like these mainstay decks.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I think Is It is probably the best color combination once again in Standard, which anyone who's been playing Standard for more than one season is like, of course it is. Of course it is. We
Oh yeah. It's on a generational run, as the children say. Like, it's been banned. How many, like, it's had its like best card banned how many times at this point since like probably even before Tarkir? No, yeah, probably since about Tarkir, which I think was the beginning of 2025, and just nope, like, still the best deck. Like, all right, well, Vivi's banned, like, now something else. Nope, Is It still the best deck? It's just a different flavor of Is It. It's like, okay, well, surely now with all these other decks, this version of Is It, well, no, we're just gonna play this version. And actually, we found an even better version of that deck to play now, and we actually just toast that deck on top of that deck, just toasting everybody else. It's like, holy shit, like, what? Like, come on. Like,
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like Thrones of Eldraine, where like blue green just kept getting like bangers back to back. Where it's like, all right, well, Earl's not that good, is it? Okay, it's banned. Oh, Oko seems like it's gonna be. I don't know if it can be that play. Oh, it's banned in every format because it's broken. Okay, well,
mhm.
okay, and it's like it's that's what Is It feels like. It feels like we went from blue green just being like Wizards' favorite color combination to like Is It's now its favorite. Like I don't know who's doing this in Wizards, but definitely someone was just like, you know what color combination never gets love? Blue red. It's like,
Mhm.
and someone's just like hyping them up, like, yeah, man, that's never been playable. And it's like you look through Wizards history, like, or Magic's history, it's like never unplayable. It's like, okay, yep, thanks.
Oh yeah, it's I don't know. We want less standard bannings, but with all these sets and stuff that we have, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that something definitely needs to be banned from standard, but you know, we've had like tons of
Uh,
cards banned at this point in standard that, like, if we had more, people are already upset by what we have. Like, imagine now that we have a reason to have more.
Well, I think the biggest problem is rotation, because I think we were talking about this before, where I was like, right now, if you unbanned like all the stuff that's banned in standard, new sets wouldn't even be like, no one would care, because
Hmm.
like there's just so much power. Like, if you take away the bans in standard, there's so much powerful stuff to do in the last set, like the last like 3 years worth of sets, that like new sets just wouldn't even, like, no one would buy them because it wouldn't matter. It's just like, unless that card was like one mana win the game, it's just like not even gonna be on your radar.
Oh yeah,
And I think that's our problem, is we have too much. We have too many options in standard.
I so badly just want like a lower powered. I want like a lower power standard. I just want like, man, I don't even know. Almost feel like we need a reset in standard. Like, let's just shorten the format window again. Like, and let's just start toning down sets a little bit at a time until we get rid of all the high powered stuff, and then let's like restart the power creep from there.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think the best way is like, I remember like when standard was like, obviously it's gonna date me, like, but like Thragtusk and Restoration Angel was like a super powerful thing to do in standard. And it's like, if you could print those cards right now, just put them into the standard set, and like I don't think they see play. Like like we have aggro decks being good, and like you're telling me a 5 mana 5/3 that gains life and makes another body when it dies, just like probably wouldn't see play. Like, it's
Like,
just like we've gotten to a ridiculous point in Magic where like the power level is too high. We have too much options in standard to like, what, when rotation is supposed to happen, we'll have like what, 20 plus sets when it happens. Like,
19.
yeah, so 19 sets in standard. Like, what's that card pool? Like, just a ridiculous number of like unique cards that we're gonna have. And it's like, yeah, maybe this is why new cards, like, we were looking at standard like right now. So like, I think the new set's gonna make an impact. Like, there's gonna be cards played for the new set. And then you look at like the last set that just got printed, there's like no decks playing any of the new cards. Mono Green plays one, and Demir Midrange plays
The
the Dream
Beaver.
Beaver. Yeah. And Shredder. They play the Super Shredder or whatever. They
Mm,
finally realized that the deck that plays all removal and bounce effects should probably play the card that says when something leaves play, put a counter on it.
yes, sir.
But we're talking about three cards out of all like, out of like 20 decks that are playing new cards. It's just like, yeah, this is a problem when I look at a new set and go, well, none of this is going to see play in standard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what Wizards does. I hope they. I don't know. They just need to shorten the time period, or maybe not print 7 sets in a year.
Absolutely, 1000%. Please, no more. Go back to like 4 sets. We have like 2 year rotation, which is currently being trialed on Magic Online, and I hope they do a little bit more with it than when they did No Ban List Modern.
Yeah,
As of
I don't
right
know.
now,
I think
currently.
I think both formats are in a good spot though. Like, standard has a variety of different decks, and also not a variety, because we see, a bunch of different decks taking different forms. So like, it's hard to like, it doesn't look diverse, but it is diverse in the sense of like they're all doing something different.
Mm.
You're seeing a lot of the same color combinations. Modern's doing relatively healthy. I don't think there's anything like, I don't see anything getting banned out of modern. Prime time, Amulet, any of those cards, could get banned. Um, Basic Forest also fine at this point. I don't care. Just anything that hurts that deck slightly
Get out of here.
is getting banned in modern. So like, I don't think we're gonna see any kind of bans happening anytime soon in either of those formats. They all seem relatively healthy. As far as what to play, if you're playing in Cincinnati, give me 2 weeks. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see how the Pro Tour goes, and
Yeah,
panic buy like all the stuff that's gonna end up being like way overpriced, because like the Pro Tour was just like, yeah, this is the breakout for this deck. This did not exist, and then Matt Nass entered like through the multiversal passage and saw every possible deck that could have been built for this Pro Tour and then found the best one.
Exactly.
But
I don't think I have anything else to really say or talk about. Or it's nice to be back talking about Magic. Hopefully, we can keep this going on a regular a semi-regular schedule.
yeah, I'm kind of hoping that at the very least, like every other week, at least.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, who knows if I'll even be able to do that because my job is apparently supposed to be super busy, but I feel like I've been hearing that for like the last like year. But who knows?
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see what actually happens.
we'll do our
we will
best.
try to be back more towards a regular schedule.
Yes. But yeah, it's good to be back. I'm glad to be doing it, and giving me a reason to like stare at Magic cards instead of playing like Ratchet and Clank, like Rift Apart. I think is like the new one that came out like 2 years ago.
Oh Jesus, I don't know. I gotta get back to playing some video games too. There's a new Resident Evil game that came out that I was like super
Requiem.
hyped for, and then like I moved, and like now I haven't like turned on my game system in a month, and I was just like, I should probably like actually play something that I bought.
I don't want to play it until I can sit down and like I'm just gonna binge this and I'm going to get through and finish a playthrough in like a weekend, because I did that with Village, I did that with 7 when I finally got to play it. I was just like, this is all I'm going to do, and so I'm trying to do that with Requiem.
That's kind of my problem right now with Magic is like because I have like the RCQ season I need to qualify for in Modern. I qualified for both Cincy and DC, so I have to make sure I'm keeping up with Standard, and like a new set just got released. I was like, I kind of want to like play the other video games. It's like, but I really can't afford to like just split my time.
Need to lock in, focus.
Listen, we're gonna try to take Affinity to a victory tomorrow. Okay.
Just get it done and out of the way. Like, all right, here
Yeah,
we go.
that's what happened with Houston. Remember, we qualified like the second and third weekend it happened or whatever.
Back to back weekends, or no, I think it was like the same weekend.
It was the same week. Yeah, you did it Saturday, I did it Sunday. And it was just like, all right, cool.
All right, this was easy. Like, why aren't more people playing this deck?
Yeah. See, I should play Prowess. That's a sign.
Don't do that, please. I beg
No,
you.
I'm gonna take Affinity. I'm gonna be sad when I mulligan to 5 multiple times. I'm gonna spam text you the whole time going, "This is your fault."
This place sucks. I hate it here.
I'm just gonna send you pictures of my hands going, this is what we should take, huh?
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think we've rambled on enough.
Yeah, I think it was good here. Hopefully, we'll be on like a more semi-regular schedule. So if you made it to the end of the episode, thank you so much for watching, supporting the channel. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll try to be back soon with probably looking and seeing what Strixhaven has done to the constructed formats of Magic. Because while we have an idea of like what may or may not be good, obviously we're not going to find out until players way better than us get their hands on it and actually do something with it.
Yeah. Or until we even see just like in the leagues and stuff of people playing new cards and stuff. There's a lot of great theory crafting going on, but I always love watching people like, yeah, these decks are gonna be good, and you like come back a week later like those decks were not good actually. It turns out mono green still just beats me in the face, and Izzet Prowess just went through me, and Lessons just went over top of me. They ancestral recalled 3 times in a row, and I just cried.
It's like that Chowder episode where it's like, what could go wrong? Oh no, it's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
All right, everyone. That's it for the Casual Spikes YouTube Season 2. That's what we can call it. It was a hiatus set up for Season 2. We weren't sure if we are gonna get greenlit by the network, but we got it.
Someone's getting fired.
You can't talk about potentially being canceled on the air. That's how you get canceled. But
all
right. Appreciate everyone for watching. Like I said, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll be back next time, probably talking about Sacred to Strixhaven stuff. So
Yeah, and what's going to be at the Pro Tour.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.